Hey everyone, Joe here. I'm excited to launch a new channel, and today is a very special day, not just because of that, but because of another reason. Today is Lens Day. Brand new lens came in the mail today. It came all the way from Brooklyn, from MPB. I've been hearing about MPB for a long time now from different YouTubers and things like that, and I finally decided to trade in my old Ronin-M and see what I could get for it and get a lens. I'm gonna talk a little bit about my experience with that. Fragile, got that signature MPB tape on the box. So I had a Ronin-M that I was using for a little while, but I was able to update to the RS2, which is a heavier duty Ronin. It's a little bit more current, so I can do more fun things with it. I decided to trade it in to get a new lens. I've been shooting on the Blackmagic 6K between borrowing and renting for about a year and a half before I finally bought my own. And it's a cropped Super 35 sensor. So what that means is if you have, for example, a Sigma 1835 lens like what I have on there now, 18 isn't really like an 18 full frame equivalent. It's closer to like a 27 or a 28. That's great if you can back the camera up, which is what I do. And right now this is the 35 that you're seeing, so the camera's about 8 feet away. It's more like maybe a 44 or 45, like a 1.6 factor, so I gotta do the math on that. 18 is wide enough if you have space to back up. But what if you're shooting in a tight space, like a car or an RV or an apartment? You need a wider lens. So after shopping around and watching some reviews, I'm definitely not the first or the last person to come up with the Tokina 11-20. That lens has about 4 different flavors. There's the Tokina 11-16, which sounded great. It sounded good enough for me, except that I want to be able to take a trip and do some vlogging and not have to change the lens throughout the day. So I thought that if I could get to 20, which is probably like more of like a 28 or 30 equivalent, then that could be long enough for like most indoor things, and then outside stuff of family and shots like that. But then also being able to back all the way up to get to 11. So MPB has been advertising hard on my Facebook, on my Instagram, basically anywhere I go to look at anything, they're there. The only place I don't see them is on Amazon. MPB is a camera store based in Brooklyn, New York, which is on the opposite end of the country from where I'm at now, some 4,000 miles away. And they buy and sell used equipment as well as new equipment. I've heard a lot of great things from them over the years, and the reason that I chose them was because A, they would trade in my Ronin-M. A lot of the local camera shops here won't take a gimbal for trade. Second, they had the Tokina 11-20 that I was looking for. Let's take a second to talk about that Tokina lens. Now there's about 4 different variants of that lens. There's 2 that are 11-16 and 2 that are 11-20. And then there's the old version, which is like, 8 years old or so, 10 years old or so, and then the new version. And from my research, it sounds like the new version has a different lens coating, but probably all the same elements, and it's got an updated housing. So it looks like something that would match my Sigma lens a little bit closer. But I'm super cheap, so I got the old one, and I got a really great deal on it. So I'm gonna talk about my experience with MPB. I thought it was okay. So their website, super great, it's fast, it's easy to search. It's much easier to search on their website, especially for used things, than it is on my local camera store's websites. It's probably similar to Adorama, but I think that they have more than Adorama, at least for the things that I've been looking for. If that's a different experience for you, mention it in the comments below. So I found the lens that I wanted. I found a gimbal that I wanted to trade, and so they sent me a quote back right away for the gimbal, and they were gonna offer me $120 for it. They were gonna pay for a shipping label for me to ship it all the way to Brooklyn, and so that's when things already started to get a little interesting. It wasn't bad yet though, it wasn't bad. So I took it to FedEx, and then they shipped it to Brooklyn, and it showed up in Brooklyn 6 days later, 7 days later. And then MPB says that when they receive a used product, it takes 1 to 2 days for them to open it and evaluate it before they get back to you on that. So it arrived on Monday, and about Thursday, I emailed them, hey, any update on this? And I think it was like an AI response that said, hey, we've got it, we opened it on Monday, we still have to take a look at it, but we're gonna get to it soon. They opened it on Thursday, and they said, hey, your Ronin's missing the focus wheel. I didn't know that the Ronin-M came stock with a focus wheel and a focus motor. We told you we'd give you 120 for that. We're gonna give you 70. We're gonna take 50 bucks off of that. And so then I'm stuck with a choice of, do I get it back, try to sell it on my own, or trade it in differently? Do I find a wheel, put it on there, or do I just say, hey, they've already got it. I'm 4 days, 5 days deep into this. I still want the $70 credit toward my new lens. And so that's what I did, thinking, yeah, I'm gonna pay. So I paid the difference right then on Thursday, and then I didn't hear anything. And I didn't hear anything. And I didn't hear anything. I got impatient. It's my natural gift. I was given the gift of impatience so that I can share it with the world. So I went back through my old email from MPB, and sure enough, they did include tracking in the email. I don't read emails cover to cover, right? I skim it. I missed the tracking code, it was in there. I looked it up and they said, yeah, it's gonna be there on Friday. Sure enough, today's Friday. It showed up all the way from Brooklyn, New York. One more thing I thought was a little bit odd, and this doesn't have to do with my impatience. This might actually apply to other people as well. Amazon messes us up, don't they? Like everything is like 2 days away. You can get anything. I mean, a lot of things we can get the same day. It really messes with the expectations that we have for other companies. I just wanted to say that. But there's one other thing with this that I wanted to talk about. My name is not on this box. It's not on there. I just thought that was weird. At my address, there's several people that receive mail, and my name's not on this. Put my name on the box. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna open this Tokina 11-20, used the old model that we received from MPB. Let's get into it and get this baby opened up. And the kids were inside when I started. Okay, so we've got the wrapping paper here. We've got MPB, buy, sell, trade, and create. I love that. She's got a Nikon / baby red. It talks about buying and selling to MPB, and then some aperture notes, depth of field, rule of thirds. This is helpful. That's really great. This box aside, let's just open this up. It's a pretty nice way to package a lens. I was expecting like foam peanuts or something like that. This is probably better for the world. Oh, great. I didn't even realize it comes with a nice lens hood. Some of my lenses they didn't come with lens hoods. And so I'm like always on the hunt for lens hoods. I typically run with a matte box, but like when I'm running and gunning or like doing like vlogging trips, I'm not gonna carry around a matte box. It's just too big to take on a plane or whatever. So I'm glad we have that. Let's get this out of the way. Okay, so here's the lens wrapped in tissue paper. Just unroll it nice and gently here. Oh, wow. It's got the back lens cap and the skew code, of course. It's got a lens. Let's take a look at the glass. A couple specks of dust, but other than that, I would say it's good. There's no scratches or anything. I don't see any blemishes. It's pretty clean overall. What's interesting that I read about these Tokinas is the collar switches from manual focus to autofocus instead of the switch that you might see on like a Canon lens or a Sigma or something like that. So right now I'm just going to check the movement. Very smooth. This lens came rated as excellent, and so everything should be nice and smooth. It's an autofocus lens, so this just turns the collar. It doesn't mechanically turn anything, but this does. Great. Well, I'm really liking this so far. We're going to take a look at the lens hood just to make sure that it fits right. That's great, and it's nice that I can do that while the cap is on. Okay, that looks great. A couple other things we're going to do is just mount this lens on the camera, so let's go through that. We're going to get this monitor folded up and out of the way so that you guys can see. Take the matte box off. We're going to swing this follow focus back. We're going to just for right now leave the ND and the matte box ring on the lens here, and we're going to prep this lens, get the cap ready right away. I like to loosen the cap and then just get it ready for a quick swap. And then on this camera, I've got a lens support. We've got to drop the center post for that. Boom. Okay, now we can just pop this lens off. Set it right down. Back cap. And we're going to put this new lens on. So it's quite a bit shorter than the one that I had on. If you take a look, it's geez, like 1.5 inches shorter maybe. It's also a little bit lighter, so that could help for run and gun stuff. Like I said before, it's a nice lens, no scratches or blemishes or anything like that. And might need, if I decide to use the follow focus or the focus on the gimbal, I'll have to put the collar on here. All right, so let's try this out. If I hold my camera with one hand way back, this is the Sigma 1835, pulled all the way back at 18. It's also really heavy. But you know, this is as wide as I can get, which I think is too tight for vlogging. It's also too heavy to like hold it, like my arms are really long and it's like all the way out there. So we're gonna switch to the Tokina and see what 11 looks like. So this is the Tokina at 11, and I can also hold it a little bit closer than the other lens if I want to. And you see me glancing up because I got my monitor attached up there. But I can get nice and comfortably close so that it's not like insanely heavy. I can move this around. I can use this lens for shooting inside vehicles or inside of a boat cabin because we're going to go on a cruise soon. It's going to be really nice to have, and I'm really looking forward to it. We can punch in all the way to 20, and that's what it looks like. So kind of similar to the Sigma already all the way out, and then you know that's it. So I'm excited for this. Thanks for tuning in to this week's video, everybody. Hope you have a good one.